perception, not reality.
So true.
Okay, it's 6:30. It's August 2nd, 2021. We'll call to order the City of Brainerd Personnel and Finance Committee, and we'll start with introductions.
Alderman at Large, Kevin Stunek.
Connie Hillman, City Finance Director.
Jennifer Bergman, City Administrator.
Tiffany Stingline, Ward 3.
Chris Schubert, HR Director.
Eric Charpentier, Executive Director of the Brainerd HRA.
And John Schomer, Brainerd HRA.
Tim Holmes of the Fire Department.
Assistant Police Chief.
Gabe Johnson, Chair of the committee. We have 7 items on the agenda and 29 remaining minutes. Let's rock and roll here. Number 1, discussion of requesting an extension to the Small Cities Development Program grant for Northeast Brainerd.
I'll start this out, and John and Eric are here can jump in anytime. So the grant that we have that is primarily for the Northeast Brainerd portion is set to expire September 30th, 2021. We've only spent about 51% of the grant, so we could request an extension from deed. In the memo that was provided to you by staff, we tried to list out the advantages and disadvantages of closing it out early versus trying to ask for an extension. The HRA board did discuss it at their last meeting, and their recommendation was not to request an extension from deed. So we are looking for council direction if we seek an extension or if we just close out the grant on September 30th.
And the recommendation is to,
Follow the HRA's recommendation.
and not seek an extension for grant number CDAP 17019OFY18.
And to close it out on September 30th,
Do I have that
2021.
motion?
Okay, I make a motion to follow the HRA Board's recommendation and not seek an extension for grant number CDAP-17-0019-0-FY18 and to close out the grant by September 30th, 2021.
I guess I'll second. Do we need a motion to not take action on something?
I think it is the motion to actually close out.
To
the
close
grant.
out
Oh,
the
close
grant.
out the grant, okay.
I think just because there's so much money involved. That would be
Yes.
that kind of one.
Exactly.
So any discussion or questions?
I know that the HRA has worked hard to get the money out. COVID put us behind. People weren't allowing other people in their houses, that kind of stuff. A lot of the projects that are up in that area, please correct me if I'm speaking on a term, but a lot of those projects in the area required a lot of significant owner's match that the owners did not have the money funds to put in there. Was part of the issue of why we couldn't get the funds to go out.
On a lot of the rental rehab, it's a 70-30 split up to the maximum allowed by the grant, which in single-family homes is 20,000. We did have one bid on a single-family home, came in at 83,000. Just didn't make it financially feasible.
And you have to meet income requirements. So we can do a $20,000 grant, they'd have to pony up to $63,000, but that household only makes $20,000, so where are they gonna, it's a real challenge to get $60,000.
And that's on the, rehabs or
For
the rentals.
For rental rehab, so, and they are limited on the tenants that can be in there then too, and they have to charge reasonable rents, which is close to what our market conditions are here locally, but it's just too much.
And I think too, they put a lot of landlords in a pinch too with the moratorium that you couldn't evict any renters. So, they're still paying the mortgage, they're not getting the rent in. So, it was just a combination of everything that this grant just did not work out as we had planned.
Yeah. And the costs, like you were saying, John, you were seeing window replacements up to $1,600 a whole, $1,800 a
Yeah,
whole?
closer to 2,000.
$2,000 a window, which is 3 times.
Out on windows.
Yeah, over 3 times what you paid just a couple years ago.
Right, and like the delay too on getting them, we wouldn't be able to have them in by the time the grant was set to expire too, and we can't do that either, so.
So just a lot of challenges. We'll close it out and try again in the future. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Number 2, adopt a resolution approving a joint powers agreement again with Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension and authorized signatures. Tim.
Again, huh? So, yeah, Chief Bustle just had this on his agenda, probably a month or so ago, but this is a separate resolution and agreement with the BCA. So through our hiring process, if someone has lived in the state of Minnesota for at least 5 years, we just go through the police department and they do the background checks and all of that. But If they haven't lived in the state of Minnesota within 5 years, then we need to go through the BCA for these checks. And this agreement and this resolution is just to allow us to submit to them and them to give us the information back for those requests.
Okay, I have one question, and why can't we do like one joint powers agreement between the city of Brainerd and BCA, and the city of Brainerd is allowed to do what the fire department needs, and the police department needs, and the city prosecutor needs, all in one simple, easy to understand agreement?
I don't have any idea why we
Okay, well,
can't
if
do
you
that.
did an answer to that, let me know.
I don't know, and Mike and I talked about it too, it just seems like it's, for each entity is what these are, so it's the fire department specifically. I think the last one was for the city attorney's office to do, so only certain agencies or entities have authority to do certain checks within the BCA, so I think this is just that documentation that's saying that we're doing it for you and this is why, is my short answer to why we have to have one for each group.
How long is the agreement good for?
5 years.
5 years ago.
Well, good, gives you time to get it fixed.
Yeah.
You work on that.
Good luck with it. You worked with government lately or not?
Too much.
So I will move that we adopt the attached resolution and approve the appropriate signatures on the joint powers agreement.
And I'll second it.
Have a motion, second, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, that motion carries. Paid on call firefighter hiring 2021.
Sure, and this is just a request to approve us to start the hiring process for a paid-on-call hiring list. Again, this is just something that we kind of regularly do every year, so we have a fresh current list of available paid-on-call firefighters. We're currently staffed at 36 paid-on-call firefighters. If we get authorization and the appropriate people, we could go up 4 more, just to allow us, knowing that we're gonna have retirements in the next few years, so just kind of keep a fresh roll of people on staff, knowing that we won't end up with, 20 new firefighters at some point. So just keep that training and that experience up within the department.
Okay, I guess I'll make a motion to allow the fire department to create a paid-on-call fire and hiring list for 2021 and authorized hire. You want to put in there up to 4 people, Tim, or not? Up to 4 people.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Process question, does this need to go to civil service at all, or is that only police?
It would only be full-time firefighters
Only
or
full-time
police.
firefighters, okay, well, we don't have any of those.
No,
He's
Any other-
fired too?
I suppose we have a couple.
got a couple, hopefully, yeah.
Any other discussion?
No.
Hearing none, we'll vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, that motion carries. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Tim. Mike?
All right, Mr. Chair, July 6, 2021 council meeting, we received authorization to hire a community service officer when Hunter Furstenberg resigned with a starting wage of $14. The current staffing level of CSO is at 3, with 2 of those departing to attend college, one halfway through August and the other one the week after, leaving us with 2. And the other one is currently eligible to be licensed as a peace officer and is currently being backgrounded by other police departments. And so we're gonna be down to 1 here real.
Not being backgrounded by us.
So we're asking to ratify the hiring of community service anyway, so we did an interview process of 1 individual, actually 2 individuals. One didn't fit our needs due to scheduling with school and stuff like that, just was a good fit for us. So we selected Josh Schuler, was selected and hired effective July 28th of 2021. So we're looking for the recommendation is ratify the hiring of community service officer Joshua Schuler, starting at $14 per hour, with the effective date of July 28th of 2021.
I move that we ratify the hiring of community service officer Joshua Schuler, starting at $14 per hour with an effective date July 28th, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thank you. Next up is the ratification of a different Joshua.
Hey, Mr. Chair, police officer candidate Joshua Clausen has successfully completed the pre-employment screening process. Joshua Clausen's first day was July 26th. He's currently in their initial training. Joshua Clausen will start at 2021 step 1, 28.26 per hour pursuant to the LELS 65 agreement. So this is looking for the ratify the hiring of Joshua Clausen at that rate with the effective date of July 26th, 2021.
Okay, here's the motion, just what he said.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. One comment, excellent work, police department, for hiring people on at step 1. You're the best department at doing that, I think. Any other discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thank you, chief. Next item, discussion of proration of the SRO contract amount for the 2020-2021 school year.
So the city billed the school district for the second half of the school year, for the 2020-2021 school year. The school did call us and asked if we would consider reducing the amount of the invoice because the school was not in session the whole time. Staff followed the same thing that we did with the first billing based on the number of days. We did use the police officer on patrol or on the streets, I guess, during that time when school wasn't in session. So staff's recommendation is to reduce the amount of the billing to the school by $12,000. We will have the SRO contract coming up on either the next meeting or the first meeting in September as well.
But the contract itself doesn't really matter because you just recommend giving them discounts whenever they ask.
And the reason staff did is based on the clause of the current CSO contract,
Up to,
expected up to 100 and something.
up to.
For up
So were we available up to 173 days?
Yes.
Okay, so it
And
sounds
so
like,
it's up to council's direction, we're just following what we've done in the past, so.
so I'll take a motion. So staff is recommending to reduce the school resource officer by $12,000.
For just the second half. So I will move to authorize staff to reduce the school resource officer contract amount with ISD 181 for the second half billing for 2020 and 2021 school year by $12,000.
Second.
And I'll be voting no, just as I did last time. I mean, we signed a contract, we had the officer available. The city didn't cancel school. The governor didn't cancel school. The school district canceled school. So the school district thinks, and they're not lowering their taxes by $12,000. They chose to cancel school. The last time, it was the governor closed it down. So it's like, it's kind of out of everybody's control, maybe we'll work with them. I opposed it then, but this isn't even the same situation. This is different. This is the school district saying, gosh, we can't provide buses for our kids. Let's cancel school. And now we're giving them a discount, even though the officer was made available to them. So I'm gonna vote no. Any other discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Oops, I voted yes. And I vote no.
Yeah, rescind it.
It's being recorded. We got it.
That's right, one of the highest better.
I'll have a second chance upstairs. I'll refine my spiel, maybe I can get a vote. Anything else to come? Oh, we got the budget timeline.
I was ready to go upstairs. You got the email from Sean too, huh?
Oh, there was a memo. Oh, no, there wasn't either memo. It was just right in the agenda thing. So, budget time, staff is working on their operating budgets, and calculating the wages. We propose on August 18th to present the budget to the council president and PNF chair.
Well, I would just pause you right there. The charter doesn't say that anybody presents a budget to the personnel and finance chair or the council president. The charter says the council president, the personnel and finance chair, and the city administrator create a budget to present to the city council. Nothing will be presented to me. I will be creating a budget.
You are correct.
Okay. Just so we
I
all have
apologize that, and I will
understanding
take
of
that
the
next
charter.
year. Yes. So they will meet on August 18th to come up with a budget for 2022. Set a budget workshop for either August 23rd or August 30th. Staff is recommending that we set it on August 30th. And that is when the meeting that the park board will present their capital and operating budgets. We could have an additional workshop or further discussion about the budget at September, the first meeting in September, and then set the preliminary levy at the regular council meeting on September 20th. So I think the council action that we need is, yes, we agree with this proposed timeline and to set a budget workshop for August 30th or the 23rd at 6 p.m.
Yeah, so I think we should do, our motion should be to set a budget workshop on Monday, August 30th at 6 p.m. Unless you wanted earlier, Ken.
No, that's fine. Okay, I make a motion to review the proposed timeline, set a budget workshop for August 30th, 2021 at 6 o'clock.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and I'll just clarify that regardless of this motion, I think we should still follow the city charter regardless of what we review in
Yes.
any proposed timeline.
I apologize for my mistake.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. We're adjourned here. We've got 14 minutes to our closed session.